in Newtown in Johannesburg. The SABC's Christelle du Toit won top honours for excellence in news and feature writing. Both Christelle and the SABC Digital Newsroom as a whole had been shortlisted for the awards in different categories. Joining us now in studio to talk about the awards and the new digital journalism landscape in general is SABC's award-winning journalist, Christelle du Toit. A very good morning and congratulations to you at first.
Good morning, thank you very much.
Was this expected?
Not at all, but I suppose in a certain way, yes. The office entry links very much with my entry in that all the work we entered was very much collaborative. It very much spoke to bringing together the skills of the SABC across platforms. So we had television content in our features, we had radio content in our features, we had regional content in our features, and then visualizations. So the stories we've been doing is very much embracing the strength of the SABC and the fact that we've got all this content coming in from different places. I think it speaks to the work happening in the SABC in general, but certainly SABC Digital Newsroom on adapting to new technologies, adapting to new tools and techniques, and pushing what is known as digital journalism.
Tell us about the work you entered and what this award actually means for you.
So I entered a body of work for features, and I didn't have a conscious theme in it, but there was quite a marked theme in the end, for example, around the role of women in the economy. The Department of Women in the Presidency reported a Status of Women report last year, and I unpacked this and started adding television content and expert analysis and all kinds of things, and we found very shortly that the restrictions that impoverished women at the bottom end of the economy face and the inherent structural challenges they face are the same at the top end. We unpacked, for example, together with colleagues, structural unfairness in the electoral system and how it is biased against female candidates. And then we did some beautiful work, for example, in collaboration with Nozintombi Mia of our television news desk on Marikana, and going back and saying, in a news landscape where we often know a whole lot about very little and we just read headlines and have conversations based on them. Let's go back to the meaning of what these events are and revisit Marikana and where it came from.
Now, we understand that this award comes at a very, very, very strategic point in both your career and the SABC's adoption of social media. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so it's quite exciting for me. I've done television and radio and all kinds of journalism, and I'm now joining the SABC politics team. And the politics team as a whole is very much embracing social media. So, for example, the past week, our politics team in Johannesburg has been undergoing intensive social media training, and we will be placing a social media focus on not only our political activities here, also in Parliament, also on the foreign desk. And very soon, I think you'll see some dedicated social media streams in that regard. And it really just speaks to the SABC is seeing tremendous reach in Africa and internationally as a whole. Sarah Kamani, for example, in Kenya, is incredibly prominent on Twitter in that region of Africa. Sherwin Bryce-Peace in New York is a prolific tweeter. And it's really just seeing how can we enhance this and drive this. And yeah, I've interacted with some of our seasoned political journalists who said to me there's no way they'll get on social media. And they've learned the power of what these tools can do. So hopefully we see them there tweeting.
How has this new media changed the news and the media landscape in South Africa, and especially here at the SABC, and are we using it enough?
So the key thing is that due to social media, for example, journalists are not going to realistically break the news. You might get lucky and break something, yeah, especially if you're with a newsmaker and you get a prominent tweet, but protests on a university campus are going to be broken by the students. Protests in the streets are going to be broken by the people marching. Your role as journalist becomes value add. And this is where digital journalism offers such a tremendous platform. Because you can now say, yes, this event happened, but what's the background? What's the depth? What's the analysis? What's the context? The story around women in the economy, for example, we took to an international stage and said, how do women feature in the economy internationally? What is the role of education in that? And you can add tremendous depth and value because you as journalists, it's no longer optional to have a social media skill set. It has to be part of your social media skill set, but use that to play to your strengths.
Social media very strong, but what are some of those pitfalls?
Well, one has to be careful. Whatever you say on social media and online stays there. You know, in the past, if I said something in a cocktail party in a specific context, people would understand it such. Now, if I put it on social media, there's no context, there's no body language, there's no tone, and it can always be found even if you delete it. So from a journalistic point of view, if you make an error, apologize. It doesn't help to delete it. You can't hide the fact that you made an error, but be very upfront about where the error came from, and be very clear about why you are on social media in the first place.
Your advice to journalists in general about using social media?
People need to be clear, I think, whether it's a journalist or a television program or a channel or an entire organization, as to why are they on social media. There are different reasons. Some people want to make a profile in an entertainment context. Some people want to monitor news, organize newsmakers and that kind of thing. So if you're going on social media, be very clear as to why you're there, because that will dictate what platform you go on and how you will behave yourself. But the most important thing is, if you wouldn't say something live on television or radio, don't say it on social media.
Christelle, once again, thank you so much, and congratulations on the award. That was Christelle du Toit, our award-winning journalist here in studio with us.